Hey guys, so we're back with another one. If you haven't got done watching my reaction to Elaine Thompson Hera, as well as Shelly and Fraser Price opening season for her 100-meter race at the Kipchoge Pre-Classic in Nibia, Kenya. You guys could go check out that reaction. So this time we're back with another video. This time we'll be talking about another prediction, but this time it's gonna be for Jeepers Creepers 4 Rebirth. So I've been scrolling around the internet and trying to puzzle the connection between the Creeper and the mythological lore behind him and what makes the Creeper who he is, right? So from my perspective and from what I have found out, I was looking at the very first movie, which is Jeepers Creepers, always, as well as Jeepers Creepers 2. And then even though Jeepers Creepers 3 wasn't as good, it still had some important hints that they put out that I think that they actually was trying to execute kind of perfectly. So one thing that I started puzzling together was that we know that the Creeper, his anatomy or his form is more resemble of a man. We already know that he posed himself as a human being to either scare people or to not seem as menacing when at first. So upon looking at, from the very first movie and how he was hiding himself and trying to act like he was more human, when we start looking at his anatomy and his looks of how the Creeper actually looked like, and there's some few minor connections that I think Jeepers Creepers 3 did that was very good, and they were trying to explain what the Creeper was, but I don't think they got too close to the case. So first one is that the ancient weapons that he used. So we know that the Creeper is very old, right? So we know besides like him having like a truck that's like resemble like in the 1900s, we know that the Creeper has like a medieval hacks ability, and then he has an axe for one of his weapons at the first movie. Now depending on how sharp that is, he is a blacksmith, so that's another thing that I feel the Creeper was at his time. Like he learned how the honorary of weaponry, so he learned how to shape weapons over the years. Another tool that he used was using human parts and molding with some weird oozy substance that over time became like a hardened, it's like Tor, but with the Tor it has like some of his teeth. So I think the Creeper, the form that we're seeing now from him, was never the form that he started off. Just like, for an example, if you look at the Stephen King's movies, especially Pennywise the clown, we know that his original form is like a spider or some form of that, right? What if the form that we're seeing the Creeper as is just one of his decades of manifestation of forms? Over time, I think he ended up liking how the human form is more less, I would say, slightly menacing compared to how his original form looked like, because we don't really know how the Creeper actually like fully looked like without him absorbing like human parts to plenish his. All we know that his cycle is something that he dwells or feeds on in order for him to fix parts of himself. So it's basically like his body has to adapt to some of the recurring history and human anatomy itself to adapt to how to either his body regurgitate some of the parts and then replace it with other people's parts. He also, in the third movie, if I'm flashing forward, has a spear, and the spear also resembles something like medieval or Mesopotamian or something. And then over time, when the Creeper either get upset or angry, we see that there's like a fan wing, like a lizard. The back of his head opens up like a Komodo lizard, and those things are either the parasite that connects the actual face. What I mean by that is like, it's like the creeper is wearing like a skin of mask. Even in the second movie, going in the middle, if you're looking at what I'm talking about, you see that the face, how the creeper, when he gets upset, is not fully connected to the rest of the body. It's like wearing a mask. So it's like the creeper is like a symbiote, some type of symbiote, or some type of creature that he feeds or replace human parts with, like this substance, you know. So even his body parts he used to create human parts. Like when he took one of his heads off in the second movie due to injury, he was still able to move around, and we saw the inside of his head, how it looked. It looked like some type of symbiote, that like some alien type. Like normally you would think that, you know, aliens could be like from space, but you know, if you take in the history of religion and mythological creatures, you could think that the thing that you're chasing could be one of those same thing. Like in the third movie, going back forward again, we saw that the parts that the creeper took, his like body, his arm, his head, those parts were still like alive. Like it were alive, but it was like very old, like a petrifying wood. So you could even say that the creeper is like a sort of this creature where over time its body itself could also become like wood. And another interesting piece is that behind the truck in the third movie, there is this bone structure that either looked like the anatomy of the creeper. It looked like it had fangs, and that kind of resembles, I think, what the creeper used to look like back in like the old days. It still has like the human skull, but it looked like the creeper had like a look like a saber tooth or something. And then the bottom of his jaw like opens up like a, I don't know what type of creature would we call that, but I think that bone is a significant piece to the next upcoming movie, because there's like hints into different things that they could have, like, you know, explore on. So what do you guys think? Do you think that some of those pictures that I found out on the internet, as well as connections, could be something that the creeper, you know, could be something connected to him? Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. Bye bye.